And they did. And I'm at the police department in Jackson, waiting for my mother to come and pick me up. And they called her and told her to come to the jail. And she said, okay. But she was en route to the jail thinking that she was going there to identify my body. Because I had been gone for 5 days and no one had seen or heard from me. My friend that was with me chose not to tell my mother nor his mother what had happened. As a matter of fact, the next day they was out looking for me, and he was leading the committee, the search committee. But he never did utter a word about, I know where he is. If he had told his mother, then he would have gotten a beating, and my mother also would have beat him. See, during that time, parents was beating each other children for the wrong that was going on. But anyway, my mom came to the jail, and when she walked in, she spotted me and began crying and hollering and hugging and kissing, and we was holding each other so tight until we actually fell to the floor, and the officers just let us stay there for a minute or two before they helped me up, because I was still in cuffs, and signed some papers stating that I would not get involved with the movement ever, never again. And we left. And as we was leaving the police department, my mother began touching me and, baby, are you okay? Did they hurt you? Did they feed you? The norm that a mom would do to a child. So I'm saying, no, I'm fine. I wasn't hurt. I'm just glad to be here. But I'm saying to myself, my mom is not mad, because her demeanor was just totally different than what I thought it should have been. The kindness just blew me away until we got home. And we get home and she tells me to go in the house and drop him. And I replied, ma'am. She said, you heard me, drop him. Well, just in case you don't know what drop him means, she was telling me to take off my clothes, all of my clothing. And she came in, she had what you call a pis ellum switch. It's a branch that comes from a ellum tree. And they are real thin. And you get you 3. And you braid them together just like you do hair. And once they are braided, they become unbreakable. And with my clothes being off, she commenced, only way I can call it is, she commenced beating me. She beat me so until she was tired where she could not raise her arm. And she told me to go get me some water and make sure you put some ice in it. So of course I went and got the water reluctantly, but she did not know that. I went and got the water and brought the water back to her, and she sat and drank the water until she regained some of her strength, and she commenced beating me again. And that was it for me for civil rights. I didn't want to hear the word freedom riders. I didn't even want to hear the word free. But there was a man named James Bevel who came into my life, and he would come by the house every day. My mom would go to work and get me and take me around Jackson and just show me some things that shouldn't be. Some things that as blacks we couldn't do, but we should have been able to do. And that was like going to the back of of a restaurant ordering a hamburger, drinking from a water fountain that read colored only. All of these things James showed me and more. And my mother used to do a small group of kids with like a Bible class on Wednesday, I think. And James found out about it and came up with the idea that he wanted to join forces with my mother. My mother was what you would call a religious fanatic. She just read the Bible all the time, every day, every night. Anytime there was a break, she had the Bible in her hand. But James came over with a box of little testaments and asked my mom about doing a little quiz, whereas he would call out a verse and whoever would turn to that verse and stand up and read it would get a prize. And that prize always was something to eat, a snack. And because that snack came in very, very handy, because we was hungry. We come from a poor family. And what we didn't know was James was actually networking the community, the kids. And he got more and more kids to come out. And so many of them began to come out that we didn't have room for them. And one Sunday we went to church and I saw James walking up to the pastor and whispering in his ear, not knowing what was being said, but he was asking the pastor, could he preach this Sunday? And the pastor nodded and said yes. And I didn't know he could preach, nor did I know he could sing. But he got up and he began singing, and then he began preaching and had the whole church rocking. I mean, we was rocking. Even as a 13-year-old, I felt something. I wasn't crying, but I was clapping my hand, stomping my feet along with others. He had the whole church moving. And after service was over, my mother broke down and said, hey, take my son with you, but promise me you will take care of him, that whereas no harm would come to him. And that's how my journey began. I mostly stayed within the state of Mississippi,